Hey friends, welcome back to Coal Country Homestead. I'm Samantha, and today I'm probably going to get myself in trouble in the kitchen because I'm still really limited to what I can do. And I have the bright idea that I'm going to make beef birria tacos today. Now, if you don't know what birria is, it is a traditional Mexican dish, traditionally made with goat or lamb typically, but most times if you're getting birria tacos in the US, it's made with beef. I don't cook a ton of Mexican dishes. I do more Puerto Rican dishes just because that's what I'm used to and that's what my experience is with. But my whole family and I love some birria tacos. And for us, from where we live, to go get some birria tacos, good ones, is probably like at least an hour drive one way and a hefty dining out bill. So I am bound and determined to make my own delicious birria tacos. So I have researched a ton and I've kind of pieced together my own recipe that I'm going to try. So I'm not sure if I will link it. We'll have to do a review. Well, actually, I can't link because I don't have my own site yet, but I mean, put it in the comments for you if we love it. And if we're still not quite there, I will keep at it. And then once I have a recipe to share, I will do that. But the main base of this is lots of, hit myself in the face here, lots of dried chilies. Um, and what makes a chili is that it is smoked. So you can't just dry your peppers and have a chili. It needs to be a smoked pepper for it to become a chili. So these are going to be the base for that really savory, umami kind of consomme that is known for being served with birria. So the first thing I need to do is take the stems and the seeds out of each of these, and then we're gonna go from there. It is early during the day, and this is a dish that cooks the whole day. It does require some prep up front, and then from there, it's gonna kind of just do its thing on the stove while we are putzing around the house on our nice day today. So fingers crossed I ace this. And if you have any tips or tricks, leave them in the comments for me because like I said, I don't make a whole lot of traditional Mexican dishes. It's more on the lines of Puerto Rican cuisine when I venture into that. And if you know the difference, you know the difference. So let's do it. Find my scribbles of my recipe here, but we are using ancho chili pods, guajillo chili pods, and arbol chili pods. And these, I like this packaging because it does tell you very specifically how hot, muy picante or very hot, if it's a medium or if it's a mild. So the way that I'm doing mine today is we're going to use 6 of these because these are very hot. We're going to have the 6 of the medium heat and 2 of the mild. So I am going to take the stems off, take the seeds out, and then we are going to toast these up to bring them to life and then boil them a little bit to rehydrate them. In a lot of the recipes that I have looked at, it tells you to discard the liquid that you're rehydrating them in because there can be some bitterness in that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to discard that liquid once we get to that point. But first, gotta trim these and get the seeds out. All right, so seeding and stemming the chilies turned out to be a 2-hand job. So Zachary is behind me working on that right now. I am going to start searing our tomatoes. Onion, and a few pieces of garlic. 14 pieces of garlic. Just a few. So essentially we want to blister the tomatoes before we put them in with the meat. And I'm doing this a little bit out of order. So these are gonna come out of this pan and then go into a bowl while we do the next step. Give that some time. All right, so this part's gonna go quick because of course I'm doing too many things at once. So we have our peppers going into toast. We've charred our tomato and onion and garlic slightly. And over here I have some bacon fat heating up. We're gonna put in here some beef soup bones. Almost every recipe I found called for some kind of beef that had bone in, like short rib, things along those lines. So I did not find any of that in my grocery store. So I am using some soup bones to get that built up flavor. And this is part of the reason why you cook all day long, because you're extracting all of that flavor out of the bone. Woo! I might be pepper spraying myself right now. They weren't lying when they say that you need to wake up your peppers by toasting them, because they're awake, and now so am I. All right, I'm gonna put some water in here now to rehydrate these. So we're gonna let those rehydrate. Okay, so we have our bone in there, and we're going to start putting our hunks of our roast in. I just have Zachary cut it up in about, just a random chunk here. You want to make sure you have a decent amount of fat on there. And we're just going to do a quick sear. The cut of meat that I am using is just under 3.5 pounds. While that's developing a sear, we're going to throw in here 1 hunk of ginger, roughly a teaspoon of oregano. I don't have Mexican oregano. If you have that, I would suggest using that. A teaspoon roughly of sesame seeds. Some ground black pepper. We're going to do roughly a teaspoon of this. Same with our cumin. and about 2 tablespoons of our chicken bouillon. And now I'm going to start the deglazing of the pan. So we're going to use about 2 tablespoons, maybe 3 tablespoons of lime. And I'm putting in a quart of chicken broth that I just dropped the lid. Quart of chicken broth. Okay. Now I'm going to put my peppers in here. Now I have seen different variations. I've seen where people blend their peppers and their other vegetables together right away to create the consomme, and I've seen recipes where they cook it just like this, and then as the beef is starting to be done, then they blend. I am going to do the latter, so I'm going to blend later. Now I am going to put a little bit of this in here just because there's so much flavor that's developed here. Oop, and I almost lost a pepper in there. We're going to put that in. I'm going to put this down the drain because it is pepper spraying us. So be aware of that when you're cooking. I'm going to slide this over to the burner that it actually fits on correctly. Turn this one off. Push this in here. Oops. And I am going to add all of our tomatoes, onions, and garlic back in. And from the look of this, I might need another quart of broth. So I'm going to go grab actually, I'm going to let it cook for a little bit and see how it does because I don't want to have too much liquid. So I am going to put this on 4, just medium for my stove. I'm going to put the lid on and I will bring you back with me when I check on it next.
Looks delicious.
Zachary.
Oh, sure.
You're fired.
Gotta take it down.
Fired. So we're checking on the birria now, and we're at the point where I think that we need to blend up our peppers, our tomatoes, our onion, our garlic, and then to continue on. And we need to let this cook for some time yet because I can tell the beef is still hard. It's not ready to shred. It's not even close to ready to shred yet. You got a beef bone.
Look at that. All came out. All that good flavor.
That's exactly what we want. You grab that phone. So it smells good. Smell wise, it's smelling real good.
Oh, look at those chunks of goodness on that beef bone.
Towel. Can you grab that? Okay, that'll be fine. Okay.
Set it on low.
But this is typically when you make birria, you would need to put it through a strainer after you blend it to get any little bits out. But because this is such a high-powered blender, you don't need to do that. So we're gonna start on low.
I see why you wanted this blender so bad. Holy moly. That is powerful.
We're not making mole, we're making birria.
Holy Birria.
But anytime you're blending something that's hot, you have to be very careful because it can blow up. It smells good. Do you want to do a taste test to see? Make sure we're on the right track. I'm not doing all this for nothing. It's gonna, obviously it's very hot.
Look how smooth and creamy that is. It's like almost like a hot sauce.
Let's not burn your taste buds off for the next week.
That's good.
It's good! It's good!
We could take some out.
Anybody want him? Because he doesn't follow my instructions. Oh, Zachary.
What's that?
Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
I was keeping my eye out for them because we don't want to blend those.
That's good. I like these.
The brand new towel. I'm giving you away. You're fired.
All right, I'll get a different one.
Fired. All right, so you're going to do the same thing again. Nope, you got to turn it on first. Attention. All right. So now we're going to pour this. Minus the Bailey.
Just love the color of it. It's beautiful.
And then I would do mine with that one. All right. That looks beautiful.
Okay, this one I'm spatulaing.
So we're going to put this back on the stove on low heat. Like I said, it's probably going to be about 3 hours yet. And then I'll bring you back for our next step. But so far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
How's that plate, Zachary?
It's delicious.
Okay, so in an unplanned development, since Zachary literally begged me, we are going to make some refried beans. So I have in here some bacon fat, because bacon fat makes everything better, and some garlic cloves. I'm actually going to add a little bit more bacon fat. There's not quite enough there. Probably going to finish this container off today, so I'm just scooping directly out. Now, again, I typically make Puerto Rican style red beans and rice. I don't typically make a refried bean, so we're just going to go with it. I am putting some of our sofrito in here. We're also going to make some rice then, because you can't have beans without rice. And instantly, that smell smells so good. It's a half of a red diced onion. Yep, so we're doing half of a red diced onion, and then we are going to do half of a yellow onion as well. I'm putting in a container of green chilies. A little can, this is what, 4 ounces. We're just going to saute this up. Half of a yellow onion going in. And I'm going to put roughly about 2 tablespoons of ham base. We want this to cook down a little bit, and then we're going to put our beans in here. And because I am doing this as a slow cook until our beef birria is done, I'm going to include the liquid, because as it cooks, that liquid is going to evaporate. And then we will mash our beans, and we will have refried beans.
My friend's mom used to make rice for us a lot.
So we put 2 cans in. And I am going to make sure that we are on low. We're going to put our lid on, and we're going to let this cook down. Let's do a quick check on our beans here. You hear Zachary is outside with that big tiller again. We're looking good. I don't want to mash these up until it's just about time for us to have dinner, or else they will dry out too much. So there's that. And let's check on our beef. Looking good here. Looks like we're starting to come apart some. Yes, we are. So that's good, because we want this to shred up nice. And we're starting to see some of that fat from the beef come to the top, which is good. That means that it's breaking up. So, lid back on, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so it's no secret that I think from scratch is best for just about everything, but I am doing a little shortcut for this one. So we have some bacon grease. I typically make my yellow rice from scratch, but on the nights where I just don't want to, this is a great variety, quick cook yellow rice. It comes already kind of like pre-seasoned, authentic Spanish style saffron rice. Find these in like restaurant supply stores. It works. Need some more bacon grease. So I am subbing in some butter. But since everything else today has taken quite some time, quick, slow cook, we're going to quick cook this, and that way I'm done with that, because there's still quite a few more steps left for our birria. So to make this a little bit better, homemade-esque rice, I am going to be putting in some of our sofrito once I get this butter melted. If you haven't yet saw the video where I taught my girls how to make sofrito, I definitely suggest watching that. Sorry if the camera just moved. Miss Dakota thinks that it's time to come check out what's being made. But sofrito is a essential ingredient in Spanish dishes. Mine here has sweet peppers, onions, cilantro, and of course garlic. So we're going to put this in and we are going to fry this up some to release all of those good flavors. The smell that just hits you as soon as this hits that hot oil is so delicious. We're also going to utilize the other half of our yellow onion that we diced up earlier. And we are going to cook this down. I've gotten pretty handy with one hand, and I'm starting to have some more movement in this hand, so that's good. But I could only stay out of the kitchen for so long. I'm sure some of you are yelling at me through the screen that I shouldn't be doing this, but this makes my heart happy being back out here. So we're going to cook that down a little bit, and I'll bring you back. Let me give you a little close-up there what that's looking like. Okay, so this has come alive and sauteed up beautifully. So the next step is I'm going to put in 2 cups. Let's see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. We're going to try. 2 cups of our rice. And we're going to give this a good stir around. It's almost like toasting your rice. And we need 4 cups of liquid. So I am going to use 1 quart of our broth, if I can open it. Zachary very reluctantly went outside and left me in the kitchen alone with the instructions that if I needed him, I better get him. So I did it. So there's our 4 cups of our very rich home canned broth, which I gotta tell you guys, my shelf is starting to look pretty sparse downstairs. I gotta get to canning soon. So we are gonna let this come to a boil. And as soon as it comes to a boil, I am going to turn off the heat because our Dutch oven will be more than hot enough. We are going to put a piece of tin foil over our pot and then our heavy lid to keep in all of the steam. And it will essentially cook itself. But no one would know that that's not homemade from scratch yellow rice. Our rice is finishing up here, and because I'm impatient, I already went ahead and started mashing our beans to get them the right consistency. take a little taste. Now these are going to simmer for a little bit yet. So they will end up a little bit thicker than this probably. But look at that nice consistency there. And as you see, it's very hot. So I don't want to burn my taste buds off. Those are good. Super, super good. So I'm just going to let them, like I said, simmer. I've turned off the heat to them. They have more than enough heat from the Dutch oven to just stay warm and come together. And everything else is finishing up. All right, so this is the part of dinner where it gets a little crazy because there's a lot of moving parts to this dish. So Isabella, good job. Yep. Isabella is working on dicing up cilantro. Zachary is shredding the birria because I can't quite do that motion great yet. Can you hold up a little fork of that so everyone can see how nicely it has just fallen apart? Just beautifully. And our rice and our beans are all ready and waiting to go on the stove. The next step is going to be that we took some of our birria cooking liquid with the fatty part that rose to the top, and we are going to cook our tortillas and actually make our tacos using this. And when I say cook the tortillas, I mean corn tortillas. This is using real corn tortillas. These are refrigerated. You gotta cook them first to be able to enjoy it, or else it doesn't taste very good. So as soon as all of this takes place, we will be doing that. The cilantro, and oh, I almost forgot. Yep, you're doing real good there, Pep. We're working on those knife skills. We diced one white onion, and this is going to get thrown right in with our beef and our sauce mixture, along with the diced fresh cilantro. I'm going to let everyone do that, and then once everyone clears, I'm going to start working on the tacos. Okay, so we are using quesadilla Mexican style cheese for our tacos. And let's see if I can do this because, well, as we know, I'm one-handed. So you gotta put it in your birria greasy yumminess, okay? And then in your skillet, we're gonna put a little bit of cheese. And in our beef, we put fresh cilantro and the white onion. We're gonna put that right in here. Oh, it's a chunky piece. We're gonna put a little bit more cheese on top, just a tiny bit. And we are going to flip this closed. I'm gonna get a spatula. And we're gonna give this a flip. And I'm gonna move on to the second one. Now I'm gonna actually cook the tortilla on both sides before I put the filling in this time. See if I get better results that way. because I feel like this is falling apart. It is. Oh, I'm falling apart. Guys, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong here. Typically, when I've used corn tortillas, they have not fallen, they don't fall apart. Oh, I'm making a mess. All right, let's see here. All right. I'm not quite sure why my tortillas are falling apart, but I'm gonna make the best of it, no matter what. So I've cooked these 2 tortillas a little bit, and now I'm gonna put the beef in. Flip this closed. Oh, that did better. That did better. I'm gonna give that a second, and I'm gonna make our first plate. We are just gonna put just a little bit of fresh onion on top, a little bit of cilantro, and there is our birria tacos with our refried beans and yellow rice. All right, doing this again. Cook the tortillas a little bit of cheese. And I didn't explain this in the dish that I served. I put a little bit of just the liquid and then some of the good meaty part in here for dipping. What do you think, little girl? Looks good. Looks good? You helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. Enjoy. Thank you. All right, guys. This was a little bit of a messy dinner. This is my plate, one of the tacos with some rice and beans. And our birria, Zachary is still doing chores all around, so he will be eating later. I will try to get a taste test from him because typically as soon as that plate appears in front of him, it disappears before I can even get there. But I thank you for joining me. This is my first time trying my hand at the birria, and I think it turned out pretty good. If you are someone who makes birria and has way more experience than me, I would love to hear your comments, any tips that you have. But I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna go enjoy this before it gets cold and clean up the disaster zone that has quickly blown up in here. And it accumulates much more with just one hand. So I am gonna go enjoy. Thanks for joining me. No, sir.
Excuse me?
Hey guys, so I realized after serving everyone earlier, I forgot an important part, which was lime. It's supposed to be served with lime, and I bought lime specifically for this, but I missed it. So Zachary's does have that squeezed lime on his.
Ooh, yeah.
But I'm gonna let him do a taste test.
All right, we'll start with the rice here. That's good. It's good rice. Refried beans. I love refried beans. That might be the best refried beans I've ever had.
No, you gotta like zip that and all that good.
Okay. That's so good. That's so good.
Can you give us any descriptive words?
It just has so much flavor. There's just so many different flavors hitting me. Got the onion, the cilantro, the beef, the corn tortilla, just everything. Perfect.
Well,
Good job.
I think I would like a little more spice to it. I think I'm gonna increase the peppers on the next one. I didn't want to like blow everyone's taste buds away because this is a different palate like profile for us. But Zachary has requested that I try to make some more Mexican cuisine, or typically mine is more Puerto Rican cuisine. So I'm gonna try some different things. Yeah. But this is one of our favorite things, at least my kind of favorite thing when we go out to order. So I'm happy that I tried it, at least. And I think it'll be much easier to do when I have two working hands.
You did really good.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna let Zachary enjoy this after he's worked long and hard today out in the garden, tilling all day. So I'm gonna get his lunch ready for tomorrow and let him enjoy, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you next time, guys.
See ya.